Hi and welcome to this demonstration of just a small part of an add-on I've been working on for some time now. Here in the scene I have a low poly model of an M70 Yugo AKM. It's made out of 87 objects where each one is UV individually unwrapped in such a way that it's taking up pretty much the whole UV space. Let me show you just that with a couple of pieces. So if I go here to the UV editing window and I select everything in the front side post, you can clearly see that it's taking up the whole of the UV space. The same goes for the muzzle brake, the barrel, more or less, the upper handguard, the lower one, the magazine, the pistol grip, the receiver, the top cover, and the buttstock. I mean, I could show you each and every single one, but that would take too much time, and for purposes of preserving just that, you're going to have to take my word for it. However, I guess I could show you all of them so that you could see for yourself that it's an unorganized mess as of right now. So yeah, if you can't tell anything right apart. Grouping and sorting all of it such that it would preserve the original UV layout of each individual object would be quite time consuming. So in other words, in fact, let me show you what I mean. So if I were to try and UV pack these as separate units, I would have to do something like this, right? And this is without UV averaging the islands. Okay, now I've UV averaged everything and it's broken. So yeah, that's highly unpractical. So yeah, that's the basic idea behind it. Now in this tree list here, I happen to have already grouped and assigned these objects to their respective tiles, as you can clearly see, and these are their UV maps. So they either have auto UV unwrapping as an option or custom UV maps, and we only have one per each object, which is a UV map. So yeah, they're assigned to their tiles and groups here. Each tile contains groups, arbitrary number of groups, and each group contains arbitrary number of objects. So groups are denoted by a color, and this is obviously done for organizational purposes. If I happen to left mouse double click on any of the tile icons here, I'll essentially select all the objects that belong to it, like this. Which is, and this is a really simple but yet a cool feature, if you ask me. And trust me when I say that all of the objects are properly assigned to this list, so none of them are left out. Again, as already mentioned, it would be quite hard and time consuming to neatly and logically UV pack everything whilst preserving the overall original UV map structure per object. Luckily, there's an automated solution for that right here, and while it does take a bit of time, it does the job decently or semi-decently depending on how you look at it, but this will be refined later on. So yeah, let me just go ahead and initiate the process. So in 15 seconds we're going to have a UI display in front of us with our UV maps neatly packed together and organized. Okay, so here it is. Now, before we proceed with the functionality of the UI system here, I'll be honest and say that I'm aware that the end result is not perfect. When it comes to the UV maps, they're not displayed the best possible way, nor are the object's UV islands properly sized. So what I mean, for example, is this magazine part here is a bit smaller than it should be. So it should be quite a bit large, at least like this. I'm sure of it. And other parts are larger than they should be. But this will be, like I said, worked out later on. But also note that this is all non-destructive, meaning that the original UV maps have been preserved. And that's the best part. So this is what I mean. Let me just go back. So yeah, see our UV maps. They are still all here. No additional ones have been created, and the original ones are intact. This is the same scene, the same objects, everything. You're not creating any duplicates, etc. So there's something else I wanted to say. I can't remember now. So yeah, given everything I said, you can easily deduce that this is all easily reusable because it's non-destructive. So now you can all reuse it without fear of losing important original UV data to sort and rearrange your objects into different tiles and groups whenever a structural requirement and change occurs in your project, if that makes sense. So what this means, you can add new objects, remove them, etc., and this will automatically be reflected here, which is good. So you don't have to do anything. You just add or remove objects that you have obviously manually UV unwrapped. But yeah, that's it. That's more or less it. Now, when you're hovering over UV, now going back to the UI element of this add-on, when you're hovering over UV mesh elements in the scene, you'll notice that there are corner-like elements that are denoted that are denoting what you're hovering over. By holding Shift, you switch from UV island mode to UV island group mode, like this. And by holding Control, you're switching to tile mode, like this. So this is useful when you want to zoom into certain elements. So if I double left click on any individual UV island, I can zoom into it. And if I hold left shift, I get to select to any of the, I get to zoom in to their group, respective group. And when I hold Control, I can zoom into the selected tile. And we can also Shift plus C zoom to the whole scene. The same way you can do it in Blender. At least that's how it is with my setup. And we can also initiate a bug zoom feature by right mouse dragging. So whatever we have encompassed with a rectangle here, we're gonna zoom into that. So this is like a region select feature. And you can cancel this operation with the left mouse button. Right now, every mesh element is displayed, so faces, edges, and vertices, and those can be toggled between with keyboard buttons such as F for faces, E for edges, and V for vertices. They can also be isolate displayed. So if I press, for instance, Alt F, only the faces will be displayed in the scene, and repeating the same action will display all the elements once more. And the same goes for the rest of the key combinations. So Alt E, Alt V, and Alt V again. There's also the color toggle option where we can toggle between group assigned colors and the global color. And this would obviously be done by the C key. So again, see, now we're switching between group and the global color. And all of the aforementioned basic element toggle commands are also assigned to these 4 buttons here. And yes, the group color change is in real time. So let me just demonstrate that. So we can change the group color. So let's say in the first tile, we're going to change this here, color of the first group to something more interesting. Yeah, like this. And if I press OK, it's gonna take effect. And if I press cancel, it's gonna revert back to its previous color. Now, there's a lot more that I could demonstrate here regarding this small section of the add-on. but and there's a lot of more to this add-on. There's a lot more functionality. Like I said, this is just a part of it, but I'm gonna save this for another time in the future. So let me know what you think. Would you find this very useful? And thank you for watching and have a nice day.